Okay, we'll continue on with another video. I'm not really sure what I look like. I just did a workout. And I thought I'd continue on discussing some things that are really kind of disgusting. So, denial is the next phase of denial is something that, alcoholics are in, right? You know what denial is, right? It's when someone can't take responsibility for the things that they've done, which is why these people will never expand. They'll never change. They'll never adjust their ways because they like looking pretty too much. They think that they're doing something, but they knowingly know that it only benefits them. And then they laugh at other people when they fail or what they think is failing. So what we're seeing with the wives to the husbands is them constantly telling them, because they didn't marry them for love, they don't know what love is. They married them for clout, fame, and money. And then what you're watching is an actress pretending, because anybody can pretend to like someone. However, a really good example of this is Justin Bieber and Hailey Bieber. As you watch her and him, they're all over each other. It's really an example of the grossest relationship. However, they're millennials, so they're really codependent on each other. However, they're more like brothers and sisters. So she's always dogging him out. She's always trying to look attractive because she really has no oomph to get her career going. But what you're watching is Hailey Bieber actually dragging him to the dirt. So that story of Selena Gomez and Hailey Bieber only lasted for so long until we got tired of hearing it. So these people think they're so valuable, these women specifically, that their love affair from teenage years, they have no education on partnership. They're using the 12 and a half ingredients to fuel their careers now. However, they have no education associated to it. However, they're pretending like they know what they're talking about. However, they don't have a clue. And somehow Hailey Bieber got on all these podcasts, but she's making brand deals and collabs because of Justin Bieber. Otherwise, no one would know who she is. However, when she looks at Justin, she dogs him out constantly. You did this to me. You're not attractive. You can't sing. Your dancing is strange. I mean, it's literally like a constant psychosis of mental abuse, which probably 99% of these people get drunk and there's physical abuse attached. That's on you. You're not even in real relationships. However, if you are experiencing physical abuse, you are in a real relationship. So you need to get out of your denial space and realize that you're in a real relationship. You're absolutely engaged. The other thing you want to note is who is running the podcast train. So when you're watching individuals go on a podcast and then they've had dinner together because they say that they've had dinner, or they announce their person as in, Mona will like that you got your nails done. You know that Mona and that person of the podcast are communicating about what she wants that girl to ask him in the podcast. It's how women work, folks. And you fall for it every time as if they're good people. And if you're not educated in any of it, then you'll fall for it every single time because you think it's success. Oh, they're so bougie, they go to dinner together. Oh, they're so in the circuit and the network together. I want to be in that network. Well, when you're in the podcast with them, they don't say anything of substance. They ask the same questions the last podcaster said. So you're on all these continuous podcasts. However, there's no conversation back and forth. It's one person saying the same thing over and over and over and over again while you're getting the nails done. Meanwhile, you're introducing a feminine vibe to a masculine energy, ruining the brand, but Monovan wants to be a part of it. And that's the whole plan, because she's the queen. She's now going to own VeeFriends. Your dream and hope of trading cards is now owned by Monovan. That's your fiance. Whether you like it or not, you introduced it at VeeCon 2022, where I made 88 videos, and the only video people remember is the one where you introduced her and kissed her on the lips in front of your parents and your sister as she cried. Still in complete denial that that occurred, whether it was planned, organized, or a plot of undercover work, it happened. And no matter what is attached to it, there's definitely pain and joy associated to what she was experiencing. Whether it was a camouflage or some other meaning, everybody made their own meaning about it, because we're meaning-making machines. You then expanded people from denial spaces to more denial spaces as you cloudily gathered around and watched more photography come through. And this is what you're watching with these folks on these podcasts is they're not only working in the circuit, but they're blocking out the circuit. So they're all working together at the top in organized crime, talking about NFTs, ChatPTG, what else? AI, whatever it is that they're talking about in their podcast circles. But they're not actually ever saying anything. They're never ever saying anything of substance, because they're all working in this montage of network associated to these women to appease them, to grow their platforms, because they're allegedly sleeping together. And if they don't please the woman, then they ain't getting any. They ain't happy. There's even a guy out there who's saying if the wife ain't happy, nobody's happy. Wow, what a motto to live by. So you better make sure your woman's happy, which means that you only say what she says that you can say, which is called suppression. You do what she asks you to do, as in examples are all over her platform, to grow her platform. And then when she says jump, you say how high, which means she wants her picture all over your page and you're just dating. So it makes you wonder how long they were dating before people were actually divorced or separated, as this person has been talking about his wife since the day he signed up at Wine Library Television. Meaning there's evidence of Monovan being in his apartment to take photographs on her Facebook page. Whether you are knowingly watching or not, subconsciously, there are particles of energy associated to your brand. Whether you think you're the strongest individual on the planet, or you're the biggest millionaire out there entrepreneur, if you have ill intentions for your audience, people can sniff it out. It's only a matter of time before it's exposed. Denial is always where people who are guilty go to. Denial, I'm not doing that. Yeah, you are, because I'm telling you that you are. I'm in the learning process. I'm sorry, but if you've got 1 million followers, you're way past the learning process. That's called illegal behavior. How the hell did you get 1 million followers then? How the hell is your podcast of you sitting in bed with Drake a valued piece of content for an audience when you never even smile and all you do is tell people what a loser you are? And then you manipulate them with your one titty that's bigger than the other. And that's what TikTok values as valuable content, as well as you celebrities. Especially you men, because it's all men that I see going on that podcast. Yeah, dude, she doesn't wear a bra and her one titty is bigger than the other, and then you lay in bed with her and you da-da-da-da-da-da. Oh, well, what about your wives? What about your wife? Yeah, that's part of the problem of how we got here. Is because men had no respect for women. Women had no respect for other women. And women definitely had no respect for men. But men definitely had no respect for themselves. Meanwhile, you're yelling out, family first. It doesn't matter if I sit in front of somebody and I just flirt. If I let her with her low cleavage show up and me take a photograph with her. I have expectations of how people are going to react to me. That's a little pretentious, isn't it? Now, I have expectations on how people are going to treat me. There's a difference. See, everything that is being spoken is intended for a new meaning, with them being on the pedestal leading, while you being on the bottom rung, holding on for dear life. See this community right here? Gary Vaynerchuk established this community. Denial. Just make content, he says. Okay, well, I made 400 pieces of content, and I've done that regularly for some time now. 40 plus pieces of content, and not that people aren't, 5 views. 265 views, however, they're bots. Besides, you don't see the point of what I'm trying to make here. See, what you're seeing now is a bitterness that is not coming from me. It's actually coming from you. The wrong people are being placed in front of everyone, like Kim Kardashian. A 12-year-old woman in a 40-something-year-old body. Her daughter, North, is more mature than her. Tom Brady has 3 children. However, that didn't bother Kim Kardashian, not even that she has 4 children. That didn't bother her to post a broadcast out that she was dating Pete Davidson, where she then says, come, let's take a shower, as she's taking off Marilyn Monroe's dress. And then when they go to a party at the Coke party, it's reported that Kim and Tom are having an affair. However, Tom has 3 kids and a woman that's also in the spotlight. And Kim Kardashian has 4 children. Child abuse. I wonder why Tom's son doesn't want to go on vacation. But that's top priority People magazine news. illegal. See, what's been lost here, and you're all in denial of it, is a way for children to grow up, to live free like we used to before the internet. So when Gary posts videos and pictures of Monavand in front of his two children after he's watched the mother and him be together since they were born, this was traumatizing. However, he didn't say anything about it. And the son and the daughter didn't say anything about it because that's how kids operate when they can't trust their parents. I don't want him telling people on his platform, so I just won't say anything. I choose Monavand over my children. I choose Monavand over my parents. I choose Monavand over everything. I choose Monavand. I choose Ginger Beloved over my own mother. I'll even tag the post and put it to the top of the comment section. And that's how men operate as a brand deal. So they use their seduction and their sexuality to fuel their businesses. So being that caring, loving individual doesn't work, because we've created nothing but monsters in the female form, which then created trans communities, which then created more uncomfort in who people are inside. Because you all as men have made it more valuable to look pretty on the outside, have fake eyebrows, get Botox, and look like an alien like Monavand, instead of be a real authentic individual like myself. I'd rather cry in my Ferrari should be your slogan. Because you little ignorant little twats who are in your 16s, 17, 22, 25 ain't hit 45 yet when you got a big old fat gut with a bunch of money and nobody standing around because your Monavand decided to take you for what you were worth. Yeah, the lawyers hadn't called you yet, by the way. I'm talking to you in the future. Yeah, she's like 25. You divorced the first one. You just hit the jackpot, found this trash heap. Mona's on her third husband. She killed Gary Vee. Yeah, she's only like 32 years old. He's like 20 years older than she is. Although she's aged progressively based on the amount of trauma. She'll call it trauma. She's such the victim. It's such hard work abusing people. It's such hard work telling everyone how you were vegan and then all of a sudden you weren't vegan. However, you all as individuals in the audience don't actually listen to what she's saying. You're just so mesmerized by the fact that she's wearing a fancy dress and that her fiance is Gary Vee. And that they're holding hands walking as if that's celebrity status. Meaning he's now become unapproachable. Gary Vee, you're unapproachable now. Meaning people get fear inside them when they see you, and that's because of Monavand, and that's who you become. Yeah, so there's a lot of different things that you can be in denial of, but it's all true because I'm in the community. You're just on the pedestal looking down on everybody. You might be making the money and making the brand deals, and you might be getting the podcast done and the world travel, and your VaynerMedia bullshit might be growing. But your heart shrunk to the size of a nut, and it sure is black. But I guess that's every entrepreneur's dream, is to have a global business where you'll actually get to the dream of buying the jets. And Mona Van will be right there to take half of it. Don't forget about the children from the previous marriage who won't get anything. Except for what the mother might leave. I mean, she might have kids of her own with somebody else. And that's the story of Mona Van and Gary Vee in another dimension. Or what we're looking at right now in this current dimension. Who frickin' knows? I'm Mr. Happy! Meanwhile, Cassandra met and married a lovely gentleman who is middle class, who works hard, and we lived happily ever after. And no one ever saw her videos, so the world actually died. An AI robot took over, and Mona Van became the queen of VeeFriends, which means they became these demonic creatures that children were afraid of, so it never really got off the ground, and the NFT went to zero. The cartoons were atrocious, and the voices were horrible. All Mona Van's idea, and the millennial Gen Zs he hired to make it. Gary Vee worked long hours from sun up to sundown, traveling the globe alone once again, while Mona Van went and got her hair done, her makeup done, her nails done, and turned into an old hag. But not before she married a couple other people, as she sat on Real Housewives of LA. That's where they divorced. But Gary was already dead inside from all the nonsense of fake laughing, fake conversations, and fake parties. A man who used to be charismatic, entertaining, and fun, and intelligent to talk about wine, now is a boring ass robot who shakes in fear every time Mona Van speaks his name. And that's the future of what's to come for you with all this amazing content that you're producing. Kiss, kiss, hand hold, kiss, kiss, hand hold, kiss, kiss, hand hold. Well, there's two things that Mona Van is super, super proud of. And that's one is that she landed a Gary Vaynerchuk. I can't live without him, and she never wants to come back without you. And you accepted that in conversation, so a contractual verbal agreement heard by millions. Meanwhile, more and more and more of hanging out with that trash heap community while you try to become a socialite in New York City. And that's where we're at, folks.